seriously, Skip.
What are you
talking about? Like, come on, man.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not gonna tell you you're wrong, because in your weird mind, you might be right. In your mind.
Yeah.
But you're completely
I think in
off.
anybody's mind, I'm right.
You're completely off base. You said 1 year, his rookie year. Other than that, nothing?
I didn't say nothing, but never anything close to his rookie year.
Oh, really?
Thereafter.
Nothing close to his rookie year. In 2017 and 18, 18 and 19, just yards from scrimmage. He was at 133 and 111. He rushed for 1,400 yards in 2018. In 19, he rushed basically for 14. I'm going to round it up. In one of those years, he had 9 touchdowns. Another year, he had 14. But you say nothing. 2021, he went over 1,000. Okay? He had 12 touchdowns. And he's splitting time at this point. How could you say outside of his rookie year, he's basically blah? That's not true. And then in 2017, as you know, he missed 5 games. Six games. He had 1,000 in 10 games. So how, I don't understand how you did Emmitt Smith spoil you or something? Is that what happened?
Yeah, probably.
Emmitt hadn't played in 30 years, man.
You still haven't shown me one full year like 2016.
Okay, so in 2016, he rushed for 1,600 yards. He was at 132. Scrimmage yards per game. Then he goes to 125 scrimmage yards per game. That's just not running the football. That's also catching it. Then he goes to 133, which is higher than his rookie year at 132. And I don't even need to keep going.
Which year are you talking about there?
In 2018, he rushed for 1,400. He had 10 touchdowns, and he had 133 yards from scrimmage. That's better than his rookie season.
No, it's not. I'll show you why. After Richard, I'll show you why.
Skip, you can't show us why, because it's not on paper, it's not on tape. He's had better year. He had a better year in 19. Skip, he had over 2,000, or 18. He had over 2,000 total yards from scrimmage. That was in 19. In 18, he had almost the same. He just had 9 touchdowns. Skip, what you're saying, as much as you over here, like when Tony Pollard, everything Tony Pollard does, oh my God, he blew me away. He only had 1,000 yards last year, 1,007. Zeke, 6 of the 7 years, he pretty much had 1,000 yards. He had 1 year where he missed it by 17
Everybody
yards.
Everybody has 1,000 yards. Where he they play 17 games.
Exactly. And it spoils
17 games for a hot minute, Skip.
One year. 1 year you've played 17 games. And last year was his worst year. He split time and he had 800, what do you have? 876 yards. Like, Skip, what you're saying, with how you raved about Tony Pollard, you would have thought Tony Pollard had 2,000, 2,500 yards from scrimmage last year. He did not. He had nothing even close to an off year that Zeke had. You're talking about Zeke's off years. That still beat any year in Tony Pollard's career.
Tony Pollard, going away. Wait a second. Tony Pollard had 1/3 of the touches Zeke had last year. 1/3.
He had 1/3 of the touches because Zeke is softening the defenses up for him to have that success. Now he's not softening the defenses up. This will be his first full year as the main bell cow, and you'll see his numbers diminish because it's hard to just pound. But that is what Zeke has done for y'all, and for you to not be appreciative and be just singing his praises for what he's done for your team, Skip, it should be a shame.
You really should, Skip. And on top of that, if you go to 2020, which he still had 1,000 yards and he only played in 15 games, that was a COVID year for everybody. So it was all weird. It was just a weird year in sports.
You guys have not lived this the way I lived it.
And that's your problem.
Yeah. Once upon a time, we even did a commercial for Undisputed in which I'm waking up in the morning. You can see my alarm go off and I'm jumping out of bed, already dressed to work out. And I got a picture of Zeke on my nightstand. That's how much I loved him. That was in 2017. But let me tell you what started happening. After a sensational rookie year in which he led the league by averaging 109 yards rushing a game, in which he led the league with 5.1 yards per rush, in which he had a career high 11.3 yards per catch. He caught 32 balls for 363 yards. It was a year akin to the the sophomore year he had at The Ohio State. Remember how he finished that year when he went for 121 against Michigan, 220 against Wisconsin in the Big Ten Championship, 230 against Alabama in the national semifinal, 246 against Oregon in the national championship game. I said, I have never seen anything like that, Zeke. And I've been watching college football for a long time. That was, even to me, that was beyond OJ at USC. I don't know if you're too young, Keyshawn, to remember those days. But it was beyond Herschel at Georgia. It was even beyond Barry Sanders at Oklahoma State, Bo at Auburn. You can name them. There was nothing like that 5-game stretch that I ever witnessed in college football. And he carried that into that rookie year in which he dominated pro football in ways he never again dominated, because his yards per game rushing fell off from 109 down to 98 the next year. It still led the league. Then it fell to 96 the next year, still leading the league. But you started seeing signs of wear and tear, because I've shown you this.
Say the next year. Say the next year. Say the next year. Skip. You can't just slow down. You can make 2 points, but then you saw it increase in 2018.
No, it did not.
Increase in 2019. It did.
No, it did not. His yards per game fell from 96 in 2018 to 85 in 2019.
His yards from scrimmage.
He had 1,300
yards
yards
per game.
No, but his yards.
But he's missing some games.
But his yards from scrimmage went up, though, Skip.
Okay, he falls down.
Wait. No. I want to hear.
Every year, for 7 straight years, his yards per game fell. Every year they fell.
How can it fall? He had 983 in 2017,
I got it right here. Yards per
and he
game.
had 1,434 in 2017. How can that be? That's 500 more yards.
In 2018,
How
he had
could it be less?
1434 in 2018.
Okay.
And he
That
only
doesn't even
played
make sense.
15 games, Skip.
All right.
But his yards from scrimmage. See, you keep talking about rushing yards.
Yeah.
I focus in on his yards because they use him in multiple ways. Let's not focus in on him just rushing the football. Let's focus in on when he touches the football.
Yeah, the catches started to fall off. And to the last 3 years, he caught no balls. They didn't even try him anymore because he couldn't run anymore.
But now you're talking about
Skip,
the end of his Cowboy career.
Well, he's only 7 years in. It's not like he's an old man.
In 2018, he caught for more yards than he caught his rookie year. He had 567 receiving yards.
Yes.
He only had 363 his rookie year.
Yes.
Make it make sense.
Then we get to the playoff game at Rams, and you guys tell me he can run through brick walls with a little pot belly. And he'd never looked the same. He got heavy, he got a little slower, and it fell all the way to last year when we're talking about he had 3 times the touches of Tony Pollard. And last year, Pro Football Focus ranked him the 39th best running back.
What year did he get paid?
39th
What year was that he got paid? 18?
After what I just showed you.
18 year, right?
Yeah.
And then he rushed for 1,300
Yeah.
in 14 touchdowns.
Fell off. You
paid him for 1,300 and 14 touchdowns.
You guys didn't watch closely like I did. You know how many times in games he would finally break away and get 12 yards, and he would turn to the sideline and say, I'm out. Wave himself out of the game. Are you kidding me? Eric Dickerson waved himself into games. If he got 12 on you, he was going to get 15 the next time and 12 the next time. He was going to run you off your turf.
Skip. Let me ask you. You thought Tony Pollard's getting that yard that Zeke didn't get? You think Tony Pollard's getting that yard? He's not.
Okay.
He's not.
Hey,
I understand that. So you're you're dismissing Zeke to get a guy who you know won't get that yard. You know if they got that penetration in the playoff game, he's not getting that yard. So make it make sense to me, Skip. You're getting rid of a guy.
If it's Tony Pollard, I'm tossing it to him, because he's got a burst Zeke never had. Even back at Ohio State, he didn't have Tony Pollard's burst. So I'm going off tackle, but I'm going to toss sweep him, and I'm going to get you. I'll get the yard a different way. Tony Pollard couldn't run like vintage Zeke between the tackles.
Let me ask you this question, because you're hard pressed to dismiss Zeke's career in Dallas to a degree. To a degree, you're hard pressed to dismiss it. Are you right now sweating in your shoes about what could potentially happen on Sunday based on the way you played and based on the way your rush defense played?
What?
Be honest with me.
Okay, I'm being totally honest.
Yeah, be honest with me.
Rico Dowdle is a better between tackles runner right now than Ezekiel Elliott is. He just is. He runs harder and stronger than Zeke is at this point.
That's not what I asked you, though.
I answered it
Okay, so you're not worried about Zeke coming in the Cowboys Stadium,
remotely
pounding on the star because of how he played last week and how your rush defense played against the Arizona Cardinals and James Conner.
You know what? We should bring out the Salvation Army kettle early this year. We should put it out there right now for this game on Sunday and dare Zeke to score on us or do something sensational on us where he could go hop in the Salvation Army kettle.
So
which he did in his rookie and second year.
So you claim that me and Richard Sherman has fired up, what do you call the linebacker, Vander Esch? What do you
Wolf
call
Hunter.
It? Wolf Hunter. We fired up Wolf Hunter.
Yes,
so you sitting here pounding away on Zeke's lack of ability to be a top-notch running back.
I don't fear
it. Okay.
I don't.
All right. I just want to make sure that's out there.
I'm gonna let you know
so
something.
People know.
I'm gonna let you know something. There are people that have not been feared going into boxing matches that have gotten knocked out. Fear ain't a factor. It don't have to be a factor. You don't have to fear him. He's going to run the ball down your throat. You didn't fear James Conner. You didn't fear Josh Dobbs. You see what happens. Fear is not a factor here. So understand this, Skip. If this man goes, and he's probably going to go and have 5 yards to carry, 4.5 yards to carry, they're probably Baymore and those boys up front. They're not going to let Tony Pollard go off. So we're going to sit back here on that Monday and we're going to talk. Skip, I'm going to need probably 4 or 5 minutes because I am going to.
Yeah, well, I mean, underestimate your opponent if you choose to. That's on you, Skip.
I dare Bill Belichick to feed the quote-unquote beast that is not Ezekiel Elliott. Feed him. Feed him. Feed him, Bill. Feed him and feed him and feed him because I don't fear him
Y'all just gave up 222 yards, man.
Yeah.
Do you not understand that?
Hey,
and like no one is worried about your rush defense. Nobody's worried about your rush defense at this point in time.
Well, the 49ers were last year in a playoff game. That's all I know. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.